Do, 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 do. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I saw a comment in the group. People were talking about Donald Trump and this bankruptcy thing. And I was just like, okay, we've talked about this. I've talked about it. But apparently, people are still kind of confused. So let's talk about Donald Trump's bankruptcies and, to be accurate, his corporate bankruptcies. Big difference between the corporate bankruptcy and a personal bankruptcy. Now, this is going to be really, really short video compared to the other ones because this is super, super easy. But before we get into that, let me bring some up to you. Okay, this is what's going on. Hustler mindset life skills. Except now it's hustlerskungfu.com. I like that name so much I just went ahead and got it. This is what's going down. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not even six. Wait a minute. But 8 courses for the Founder Special, which ends August 26th. So with that, let's just jump into it. Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump. Okay. Uh, how do I say this? I'm a student of what works, and I'm not a personal fan of the guy. I don't hate the guy, but the reality is the stuff that he's talking about in terms of the corporate bankruptcies is true. Just go ahead and check the legal chain. Just go do through public records. You'll see who did it. All these bankruptcies, unless they're sealed, are public record. It's really easy to see who has filed bankruptcy, who hasn't. Now, let's explain who the real pimp in the Trump family is, and that would be Fred Trump, who started all this. And Donald was the beneficiary, and then the children of Donald were the beneficiaries of this. But the one who pulled the lever, who got everything started, was Fred Trump. Now, Fred Trump got to the level of wealth long before Donald took over that somebody said, Fred, you need to go talk to an estate planning attorney or a lawyer. You need to get yourself a good estate plan. So as the wealth is created, it is protected. So, people go like, well, how could Donald Trump be worth $10 billion and file bankruptcy? Well, first of all, you're looking at Donald, the corporation, all as one. It's Donald Trump, the family trust. Corporation number one, corporation number two, corporation number three, corporation number four, five, six, seven. There's layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. So the money that Fred Trump built, that empire, that's probably in the trust fund that's going to benefit the grandkids of Donald Trump. That money's never going to be put in jeopardy of being lost, or they're going to get sued for it because it's in a trust. So they don't own it anymore. They just control it. That's the whole deal. You can't look at these two things as everyone is in the same boat. You're looking at it, if you file bankruptcy, you're in trouble. Now let's understand why you're in trouble. You don't have a corporation. If you had an S corp, you had a C corp, you even had a LLC, and you did the proper things, and that LLC was doing business, and that LLC got sued, limited liability company. So the liabilities contained within that company if you set it up right. So you can have personal assets, 100 million bucks, and you have this company that's doing about 25 million a year, and you have a driver driving this truck, and he gets in an accident, and then there's a lot of bad stuff that happens. They can only sue the driver, the truck, and that corporation because those are the only things that were exposed to that risk. That's why Donald Trump can file bankruptcy and still be phenomenally wealthy. And I know it's like, but Glendon, that man, that's really unfair. And to you, I would say, is it? it would be unfair if you couldn't do it too. But the fact is there anything stopping you from creating a corporation? Nope. Is there anything from stopping you from going ahead and studying on getting yourself a financial education so you know how to protect yourself and doing these things? Nope. So it's really is fair that Donald Trump can do this, that not Bob Dole, but it'll come to mind. He was running for president. I see his face. He looks like one of those agents from the Matrix. But when he was running for president, he had all this money. And people was like, well, he's only paying 6% of his income in taxes. Oh, good God. How did he do that? If you had structured your life the way that he did, John, I mean, yeah, you could do it too. See, this is the thing. And this was, we were having this conversation. Recently, Gary put out a video talking about how college was a racket. And it's on his Facebook page. Go there and join the fuckery because people are losing their minds. And I said something similar in 2011. Just go Glendon Cameron, the degree myth. Many people absolutely fucking refuse to accept the fact that their premise is wrong because of the strong social approval. If you tell someone, you started a business one year and you lost a lot of money, that's like, oh, you're a dumbass. If you tell someone you went to college, got a degree, but you got $150,000 in student loan debt, that's like, that's going to work out. Even though you were broke, living with your mama, can't do nothing in life, or maybe you don't live with your mama, but you're so pressed financially because of that student loan debt, you're just kind of handcuffed. I had some guy come on my page and he was talking about that stuff. And all of this has to do with knowing the rules. Let me say it again. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Learn the fucking rules so you can win. And one of the rules is that he who has the gold writes the rules. It's not the golden rule. The golden rule is not doing to others. No. The golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rules. Point blank. It's been like that since the beginning of time, and it's going to be like that until the end of time. But with this whole thing of education, and this is one of the reasons that, during the debate, and it's like, well, you filed bankruptcy 4 times. Actually, he didn't. His corporations did. And what he said about the bankers being killers is true. If you've ever been in high-level negotiations, and there's people, it's not like on television. These motherfuckers are pushing back hard. I was dealing with this one guy by the name of Martin, who's an asshole. And you just want to give him a hammer because he's just going to hammer your nuts to the table. Everything's an issue. Everything. That's just how he plays the game. It's not personal. And you deal with that stuff. You realize, and that was just, office furniture. So I can only imagine when there's 100 million, 200 million, or a few billion on the table, everybody's in that room, their nuts are tight because one wrong decision, someone's career is over. Not to mention they could get sued, lose accreditation with the SEC. All kinds of stuff could happen. So in learning these rules, because when Trump comes out and when people look at this as being unfair, I say anyone that's losing it hasn't really become a student of financials, of financial education. Having a financial education is not just knowing what your credit fucking score is. It's not having a 401k. It's not having, that could be part of it. But a real financial education is knowing, and this is something that I will be talking about in the child support course on the Hustlers Kung Fu, is you got to know how this legal structure really can benefit you and how it can really fuck you. So one of the things that I'm telling my people to do, because we're heading into some crazy times. If you got a strong business model going and you're making money, you need to incorporate. In the beginning, while you're validating your concept, no, do not incorporate. But once you got money coming in, and that could be a week or that can be a year. Once you got say you have a week, because someone that took local hustles, They've been in the course since I put it in the Hustler Kung Fu. They've done 1,500, and they emailed me, and it's like, what should I do? And I said, okay, take that 1,500 and put $500 in savings. Take $500, do your incorporation, some other stuff, and take another 500 and put that in an operating account. And it's like, none for me, no player. Because see, this is the thing. You've got such a strong start that if you keep this up, there'll be plenty for you and real soon. But if you go ahead and I made 1,500, then you incorporate that into your lifestyle and you start spending all that damn money, then your business will never grow to what it can grow, because he's not paying for anything. The business is supporting itself, and within a month he'll be good. I mean, he did that with local hustles. And the thing is, people really, really do not want to take responsibility for what happens to them. And that's why they don't know these things, because you have people going on and on and on about how hard things are, how terrible things are. Are they really? Why are they terrible? Because you lack education, and not a formal education. I mean, there's plenty of people out here with PhDs who are damn near homeless. So what good is being able to splice up the dichotomy of psychology versus philosophy? I mean, that's a nice conversation. It goes better if the house you're in is paid for, I would think. You know, if everyone was living on the street and we all pulled sheets over our head at night when it rains, okay, yeah, that'd be funny, because, you know, there would be a certain social hierarchy in that society, and the people who have the pretty flowery language could be at the top of that strata. But seriously, when you see people losing their mind about what Donald Trump did, and this is what's so stunning to me. This is what is so... I mean, it just makes me wonder. He's not doing this in a closet. He's doing it in the bright light of day. This is no closet. There's no game. It's not hidden. You could literally go online, search enough, and find out exactly what he did, how he did it. It is completely transparent and it's completely out here. Now, why aren't people taking that information and going with it? Okay, going back to what I was talking about with what happened on my page. With I put something up there. It was about, in Ohio State, if you brush up against a girl in a crowded room, just don't feel on an ass, don't touch an ass, don't touch a boob, and if she feels offended, that's sexual harassment up there. And I posted this article, another reason not to go to college, and it was all about how easy it is for a male to get in trouble in certain campuses. And this guy comes up and he's like, it's unfair to say this, blah, 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 blah. And then when I went ahead and hit him, he's like, no, I didn't read the article. It said, clearly, no shit. And this is how people are with this, because like I said, go to Gary Vaynerchuk's page, check it out. You will see the fight. You will see the fight, because people do not want to realize that shit doesn't work. It doesn't. It's a social feel-good move. That's what it is. It's like, well, hey, I have a college degree. I've seen it. I've been at parties. I'll tell you a story. I was hanging out with my business partner with her family, and there was this person there who just finished up her master's. And it was in sports psychology, I believe. And the girl's super, super nice, but recently ran into her. This girl still, and that was years ago, she's still living with people. She still works part-time, you know, she's still trying to get it together with that thing. And oh yeah, she's in default of her student loans. Oh yeah, she tells you all her business. And I'm just sitting there like, but she goes to a party and like, hey, I have this graduate degree. Bravo. Throw the flowers. But when it comes to taking care of herself as a full-fledged human being, they ain't there. It's just not there. Like I said, she's a super nice person, and I think she's like 39 now, something like that. Yeah, because she was one of those, I guess, Twilight students. But the whole point is, when you see these things and you hear these things, do not lose your mind. Don't go crazy. Go online, just like you Google all these stats about celebrities and what LeBron has done and what Kobe's done, and educate yourself. Get yourself a financial education. So when you can see, because the thing is, you got to think about this. For him to have 4 corporate bankruptcies and to run, he understands psychology. Now, the thing is, my opinion is this is just showboating. And I just don't see him getting the GOP nomination. I don't care what the polls currently say. I really don't. And even if he were to go independent, it's going to be real interesting. I think he could spend 100 million. He could probably spend 200 million easily. But there's a few chinks in his armor that will, as this thing starts to tighten up, that's going to just like pop out. That would be the real, that's just going to derail the shit out of this. Because right now people like to talk, and I'm going to tell you who in the last election was acting just like that. I'm going to pause just for a second while you think about it. There was someone that saying the similar shit, same thing. And when he got in those tight debates, Governor Rick Perry had his ass handed to him. Yeah, Rick Perry did the same shit last time. And this is what I'm saying. People don't understand and pay attention to history. Rick Perry was the same thing. High up in the approval polls, everybody was loving him. And then he started to stumble when it got tight. Because longest is like, I think it's like 12 of them. I don't know how many of them. It's a bunch of them. But when it gets down to that 4, and when it gets down to that 2, that's when it's going to get super tight. That's when the questions are going to become harder. That's when the questions about the economy, foreign policy are going to become really, really hard. Really, really hard. And we as a country have just come out of, we're still dealing with a lot of war residue. We have a lot of troops who are broken. We have a lot of families who are broken. And someone who looks like a fucking war hawk, I'm telling you, people are like, yeah, Donald, I like what he says. But when you go in that voting booth and you start to think, damn, this motherfucker could take us to war. Psh, Hillary. There's all this talk, but when you get in that voting booth and you start looking at those names, you start thinking and you start thinking and you start thinking. And for me, it's always a case of the lesser of two evils. That's my situation. It's like evil, or evil, or evil. That's how I find myself, because when you do the research, they're all fucked up. There's nobody clean. So that's the whole thing. I just vote because, a bunch of people a long time ago who look like me died for their rights. So I feel, hey, I'll go ahead and I'll honor that. Even though I do believe the political process is fucked up and flawed, it's the only one we have. And oddly enough, it's better than 90% of the political processes across the world. So, when you look at it in that perspective, it's not so bad. But when you are out there doing your thing and building your business and watching these things, do not have these knee-jerk reactions. Do some research. Educate yourself. Take yourself to a higher level intellectually on these topics. So that's it. I mean, I didn't even have to tell you what happened with this corporate, because the thing is, anybody with money, when they go into a situation like this, they're going to be corporate up, trust up, partnership up. There's going to be containers of risk. They're not just going to, anybody with like, say there's someone out there with $5 billion liquid, just cash in the bank, and they want to go start doing deals. Do you think they're just going to do deals with you with a handshake and they got $5 billion in the bank unprotected? They would be insane, because they are a target. It's like, whoa, Mr. 5 billion does deals without proper due diligence. Do you understand how many folks will come after him, set him up, sue him, and get rid of that money? You got to have these containers of risk. You have to. There's no way things will work. And years ago, I don't know if it happened, if I've got any UK watchers who get this far, tell me, have the bankruptcy laws in the UK changed? Because that was a big thing. That's one of the things I know people think is fucked up, but that's one of the things that makes this country great. That you can totally fuck up, owe a bunch of people money, file bankruptcy, and it's forgiven. And start anew. And there have been many entrepreneurs who have gone bankrupt who've done a lot of stuff, great stuff on that second or third or fourth try. That's one of the things that makes us what we are. That's why people are swimming from Cuba, jumping over the fence and doing what they're doing to get here. All right. So if you like the content of this video, below the video are several email lists that you may want to be a part of. And if you want to get your life together, because let's see, there's the mindset course, becoming the boss, disruptive money, your credit course, local hustles, the original 30 days to 2,500. A lot of dudes are loving these two courses, disruptive mating and child support. They are loving these courses. Totally loving these courses. You can get that for one money, as we used to say in the storage auction business. You get 8 courses plus what's coming next, $150. That founder's offer ends 6 p.m. August 26th. It's been going on since July 26th, so you got time to get in. And we're not even at the wire yet, so do that. So with that, I'll see you in the next session.